Hey, house guests! Welcome to today's BBCan 10 updates and spoilers. Our house guests of the day are Van Scott and Dominic Capello. Thank you both so much for the support. We could not do this without you, and we appreciate it so much. So thank you again. And if you guys want to be house guests of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. Before we get started, I also want to thank yesterday's super chatters because that is a fantastic way to support our channel and keep us doing what we're doing. So Jefferson Tucker, Susan Pengilly. I do this every time. I'm so sorry. Taylor Fulmer, Janet Tucker, 68, Bradley Michael, and Keith Holloway. Thank you all so much for your super chats yesterday. It really does mean a lot to us. All right, so hello, welcome everybody who's watching this live. If you missed yesterday's spoiler, I think you should definitely check it out because there was a lot of important information trying to figure out who's working together, what's been happening before the feeds came on. So it's a lot to unpack there. I don't want to go through the whole entire thing again right now. So if you didn't see it yet, check it out. But a quick recap, just so we can get into things here, just for some context. Marty is the HOH. And when we left off yesterday, he was preparing to make his nominations. And I got to say, in his one-on-one conversations with people, he was really spilling a lot of info about his plans for the week. First of all, it seems like Jess is a house target. A lot of people want them out. But Marty is not planning on targeting Jess because he feels good with Jess. There is no reason for him to target them at this time. Jess has said if they win HOH, they wouldn't put Marty up on the block. Plus, Jess is still going to be a target moving forward. So it doesn't make sense for Marty to go after them. But Marty was spilling to people that he did want to target Steph. But she made a deal for safety during the HOH competition, and Marty is saying he plans to honor that, but he is nervous about Steph. He doesn't know if she would have honored the deal if she was the HOH. He hasn't really talked game with her, so that's why he's targeting Steph, but not really like going after her right now because of that deal. But Marty revealed to a lot of people he's planning on putting Jay and Jacy Lynn up on the block. He hasn't talked much game with either of them. And Jay is Marty's target. So I just want to note too, Marty gave both nominees a heads up before the nomination ceremony. And Marty was also, at the end of yesterday's spoiler, planning if the power of veto is used this week, he would put up Kevin as the replacement nominee. But Kevin is not his target. He would not want Kevin to leave. So before we get into the new stuff too, just a quick look at some key alliances that we've seen emerge so far. There is a ton of overlap within these alliances. I see a lot of the same people involved in these, especially like Kyle and Gino. They are working overtime. They've got a lot of alliances forming. So first of all, we've got the Honey Bunch, which was the first 4 house guests to enter the house. So that's Summer, Gino, Josh, and Jacy Lynn. We've got the 5 Singletons. That's not their name. That's just what I've been calling them. But they did come up with a name. Apparently, they're calling themselves the Retreat now. So that's Kyle, Hermann, Steph, Jacy Lynn, and Gino. I know I'm throwing a lot of names at you guys right now, but if you want to like pause, look up pictures, and come back, that's totally fine. We've got the Savage 7, which seems to be maybe one of the more serious alliances. I don't know. But that's Kyle, Hermann, Gino. I've heard those names a few times. Josh, Moose, Tanisha, and Summer. To me, honestly, it kind of seems like it's 5 guys and then they decided to tack 2 women on. I don't know. That's just what it looks like. We've got a guys alliance, which I don't think has a name yet, with Marty, Kyle, Gino, and Moose. But Moose is a mess. Moose is already bringing up targeting people in all of his alliances so far. He's doing the most. I feel like he's gonna burn out very quickly, or he's gonna get caught or something. Like, it's messy. And then there's another alliance that we didn't talk about yesterday because I didn't know about it until today, but it's called the Man Down Alliance. And this one is Summer, Tanisha, Helena, and Betty. I know some of you are always like, oh, why is it okay for there to be a women's alliance but not a men's alliance? Honestly, my answer for that is we've seen season after season these like guys alliances. They've been really successful. To me, it's played out. We want something new. We haven't seen many successful girls alliances on Big Brother. So yeah, it would be really exciting to see something like this work. But I'm not sure when this alliance formed exactly. Yesterday was the first that I heard of it, but I like it. Oh man, I was so optimistic this morning when I wrote that down. We'll get there in a bit, but let's dive in. So, Summer was chatting with Gino on the couch yesterday, and Summer's like really trying to play this matchmaker role and like get some showmances going here. And it seems like she wants to create some distractions, some shields to keep her closest allies safe. So Summer says we need to see if we can get someone else to start a showmance so that it will take some of the heat off of Gino, because a lot of people in this house are like thirsting after Gino, and Summer is very close to Gino. She doesn't want him taken out. So she's like, what if we could get another alliance started and get people talking about them instead of about you? So Gino says, yeah, I like that idea. That makes a lot of sense. So they talk about Gino's potential showmance options, which seem to be Jacy Lynn and Steph. And Steph has been pursuing Gino hard, and he is not into her. It's so hard to watch. Oh my god. It's pretty brutal. But he does seem somewhat interested in Jacy Lynn. So Summer is thinking maybe we can get Hermann to showmance with Steph. She says that she wants Honey to stay Honey, meaning she wants the Honey Bunch Alliance to stay together. She does not want that to get broken up. She also says if there comes a point where Gino, you have to choose between keeping me or keeping your showmance, just remember the Greek always goes farther into the game with the Jamaican. She said, learn from season 5. So she's talking about Ika and Dimitri's because obviously they were very successful in their season and in life. Seems pretty clear here. Summer wants to make sure that she is Gino's number one, whether he gets into a showmance or not. So Gino says if a showmance happens with Jacy Lynn, it happens, but the game always comes first. I mean, that's what they all say. That's what they all say. Okay, so then at one point during this conversation, it was really funny because the feeds cut to Jacy Lynn, who was in the kitchen, and she was like staring at Gino and Summer talking, and it was like, ah! I think she's getting a little jealous of Gino talking to other people. But anyway, a little later, Summer chats with Hermann in the telephone room, and we missed the beginning of this conversation, but they are clearly discussing Summer's showmance deflection plan. So Hermann says he is 100% absolutely not down for this plan. He does not want to do that. He was the HOH last week. He does not want to give anyone another reason to target him. And like, for real, why would he put himself in danger like that for like not even a real showmance, and sacrifice his game to keep Gino safe? What? That doesn't make any sense. I don't know if Summer has it bad for Gino or what, or maybe she just sees him as a really strong ally and she wants to keep him around. I don't know. But I feel like it's a lot to even approach Hermann with that. So Summer says, oh, I'm just trying to pitch ideas to protect our group. She's talking about the Savage Seven. And she's like, it's not even just a showmance thing. Like, I'm going to need someone to deflect for me and Tanisha because people are already viewing us as a duo. So we need to make sure we can get the attention off of us. So Hermann says, all right, well, we don't need to overthink it right now. We have 7 people in our alliance. We have control. So Summer's like, you're right. I'm overthinking it. She apologizes. She's like, I didn't think of things from your perspective. Like, why would you want to do this? But like, Would you? So Hermann says he feels secure in the alliance. In the alliance. Which one? Because he's got a lot. In this moment, he's talking about Savage 7. He's like, I don't need to get into a showmance for game reasons. You know, he was open to a showmance coming into this, but now that he is established with this group, he's like, I don't really need it. And he says that Gino will be fine too. Okay, so then later, Helena and Tanisha have a check-in in the bathroom, and Helena says that her loyalty lies with the Man Down Alliance. And again, that is Helena, Tanisha, Betty, and Summer. And I'm like, woo! Yeah, ladies, get it done. So Helena says to Tanisha, I have your back. I hope that's reciprocated. And Tanisha says, yes, absolutely. If there were any change, I would let you know. In that moment, it's not really clear if Tanisha is more loyal to the Man Down Alliance or to the Savage 7. I'm thinking she's more loyal to the Savage 7. She seems ready to ride for them for sure. But Tanisha says, our group is solid. I feel okay with us not having to check in all the time with each other. It's good vibes, you know? So then later, Helena has a similar conversation with Summer in the HOH room. Again, she's like, I'm totally on board with Man Down. I have your back. And Summer's like, yeah, me too. It's awesome. Okay, cool. So then, and it's the same situation too, because Summer is also in the Savage 7 alliance. So it's like, where do her loyalties truly lie? But then at one point, Helena was alone in the HOH room talking to the cameras, and she says, I can't wait until this is my HOH room. Yeah. She says if she wins HOH, she's putting up Steph and them on the block. Who's them? I guess people that are close to Steph. I don't know. But she says her target has shifted. Betty is not her target anymore. She was targeting Betty before? What? But I'm glad she's not anymore. Okay. So shifting gears a little bit here, Moose is all kinds of messy. He was chatting with Josh in the red bedroom, and Betty was in there sweeping and chatting with them as well. And I just have to mention again, I said this even during the cast reveal video. Betty reminds me so much of Spicy V. And now that I've seen her more on the feeds, just even hearing her voice, she sounds so much like Spicy V. It's insane. It's the voice, the energy, I'm enjoying watching her so far, but I mean, I enjoyed watching Spicy V too, so it makes sense. But it's insane how much she reminds me of her. So, okay. These three were talking about how they would feel if an ally backdoored them. Like, would they be upset about it? Would they talk to them after the show? Whatever. So Moose asks Betty, oh, are you working with anyone? And Betty says, she's not. She's playing an independent game. Not quite. I mean, we know that she's in this Man Down Alliance. Obviously, she's not going to admit that. But I don't know if Betty has anything else like official going on aside from that group. So Betty asks Moose, are you playing an independent game? And he says, hell no. Oop. So you're like admitting you're in an alliance? So Betty's like, what are you doing right now? So you're in an alliance? And Moose is like, I wouldn't say I'm in an alliance. No, I'd say he's in like 10. But he says there are people that I trust. So Betty's like, all right, so you're in an alliance, aren't you? What are you guys called? So this conversation gets like really awkward. It's one of those ones where like everybody's laughing, but it's like part joking, mostly serious. She's trying to grill him about his alliance because he slipped up. So Moose is like, wait, do people name their alliances? Yeah. So then they were talking about past alliances and what they were called, blah, blah, blah. And then Betty's like, so tell us about yours. But to change the subject, Moose starts talking about what it feels like to trip on drugs. So Betty's like, I'm out of here. She leaves the room, and Moose asks Josh, was that bad? Did I just blow up our spot? I mean, it definitely wasn't good. I think Betty was already thinking, "Oh man, there might be like a guys alliance going on here." Yeah. Okay, so then they had the nomination ceremony. And as expected, Marty nominated Jay and Jacy Lynn. And again, they knew they were going up. Marty talked to both of them beforehand. This was not a surprise. But it sounds like Jay may have like made a splash during the ceremony. I don't know if they said something to Marty. It sounds like possibly when Marty announced Jay's name, Jay got up and like did a spin move or something on the way to the nomination chair. I don't know. It sounds like a lot of fun though. Um, but anyway, Jay knows that they're the target this week because apparently Marty straight up told them, not during the ceremony, but during one of their one-on-one conversations before the nominations. Marty was telling Hermann about it. He's like, "Yeah, I just told Jay straight up that they're my target." Yikes! Why would you do that? Okay, that's a lot. So anyway, Jacy Lynn, now that she's up on the block, she's already on the move trying to secure votes. So she's checking in with Kevin. And I don't know if I even really talked about Kevin in yesterday's spoiler because he was like really laying low. I think he was having a hard time mentally and emotionally after surviving the block. I think it was a lot for him and he spent a lot of time like sleeping and just trying to like feel better. And now he's trying to kind of work his way back in. But yeah, I it's hard to tell how much of that is an act. And the only reason that I'm saying that is because he was telling us in his pre-show interviews and stuff like, "Oh, I'm going to act all like sad and all that." But like, I don't know if he's that good of an actor. I mean, he might just be saying that to hide that he is actually feeling not great. I don't know, but I kind of feel like he's having a hard time in the house so far. But anyway, Jacy Lynn is checking in with Kevin, and she's talking about how they have a bond in a way now because they've both been up on the block. And Jacy Lynn says best case scenario would be that I won the power veto this week and then I'm safe. But if not, she says I need 7 votes to stay, or it could be 6 plus the HOH voting to keep her because it is a potential tie week. But she asks Kevin, "Where's your head at? What do you think?" And Kevin's like, "I don't really have good reads on the game. I don't know." Again, is he just saying that, or is that for real? I don't know. But Jacy Lynn asks, "Would I have your vote if I'm still up on the block against Jay on Thursday?" And Kevin says it's too early. I got to see what happens with the power veto, and then we can talk about it some more. So Jacy Lynn's all right. She says that's fair. I get it. She says I'm not going to campaign dirty against Jay, but I wanted to let you know that I'm not targeting you. And Kevin says that really, really means a lot to me. He got a little emotional about it. But they were chatting for a while, and then that's that. Okay. So then Jacy Lynn chats with Betty. And Betty is very direct in her conversations. But at one point, Jacy Lynn admitted that she's like intimidated by Betty. Really? Intimidated? I don't know about that. But anyway, Jacy Lynn is asking, "Would I have your vote?" And Betty wants to know, "Would I be safe if you won the next HOH?" And Jacy Lynn says, "Well, we haven't really had that many game chats yet, but I do really value the personal conversations that we've had so far." Jacy Lynn also says, "I wouldn't want to be picking off girls if I won HOH because she thinks that there could definitely be a guys alliance forming." So Betty asks, "Do you think that Gino and Marty are working together?" Oh, you're asking Gino's like potential showmance. I don't know. Is she gonna bring this back to Gino? I don't know. But they talk about the possibility of creating some sort of a girls' alliance somewhere down the line. And Betty asks Jacy Lynn, "Are you low-key working with Steph? It's okay if you are." And Jacy Lynn, she doesn't say they're like working together, but she admits that her and Steph have each other's backs. She says maybe we can build on that. Maybe we can add in Tanisha. She seems really cool. this will come up again. Okay, so then Jay was chatting with Summer in the bathroom later on, and Jay is hoping that they're just gonna win this power of veto, and then it's all good, right? But if not, Jay thinks that they'll still have the votes to stay against Jacy Lynn, as long as they keep doing what they've been doing so far, like cooking dinner, being nice to everyone, because they were doing that last week too. So if they're still doing that this week, people will be like, okay, that's just how Jay is. It's not like they're trying to suck up or anything. So Jay is thinking, I just need to keep this up. Honestly, I'm not sure yet how the votes would fall if Jay and Jacy Lynn are still up on the block on Thursday. It's a split house right now. I don't know that it would necessarily be right down the middle, but there are definitely people on both sides of it. People who want to keep Jacy Lynn and people who want to keep Jay. So it's hard to say how the votes would fall exactly. But Summer says, if I play in the power veto, I want to throw it to you, because she feels like it would be better for Jay to win the POV and save themselves. Not a lot of people right now are going to want to stick their necks out for allies this early, right? I mean, of course, if you win the power veto and save yourself, if you're one of the nominees, yeah, but not a lot of people are going to want to use it on an ally right now. But Jay, again, thinks that they're going to be good no matter what. And if they're getting the sense that they're not, they will put in the work to make sure that they're good. Okay. So then Josh and Jay had a good chat last night, and Josh says if he wins the power veto, he'd use it on Jay. Damn! I was just saying that, like, not a lot of people would want to do that right now. But Josh and Jay seem to be pretty tight. But Josh also mentions that he thinks that Jay would be safe against Jacy Lynn if they're both still on the block. So maybe Josh would walk that back a little bit and be like, you're going to be fine with the votes. I don't need to save you. So Josh says, I don't know that we necessarily have like a final two thing, but we do have this unspoken code that if you were in trouble, I would get you out of trouble and vice versa. And Jay agrees. They're like, yes, that sounds great. And then Josh says, if it was me, you, and like whoever else in the final three, I would take you to the final two. And Jay agrees again. So that kind of sounds like a final two deal to me. If you're going to bring this person to the end over like anybody else, right? It sounds like a final two. Maybe it's not official, but so Jay says we cannot let those four guys just run the game. So he's talking about Marty, Gino, Hermann, and then the fourth one, I thought he said Kevin, but then it kind of also sounded like Kyle. Like, I don't know if he just mixed up the names, because it would make more sense if he was talking about Kyle. But I guess Kevin's kind of in there too, a little bit, right? Because he's kind of got like something with Marty. I don't know. But Jay does not want those guys to just dominate the game. I mean, I think a lot of us feel the same way. But anyway, that was all last night. This morning, Tanisha and Betty were having a game chat, and Tanisha says out of the two nominees, she feels less safe with Jay. And that's not to say that she feels good about Jacy Lynn, but she feels less safe with Jay. She doesn't know where their head's at. She says they haven't talked much yet, so that's interesting. But Betty clues Tanisha in about the conversation that she had with Jacy Lynn, how Jacy Lynn wants to reel Tanisha in to work with her and Steph. And Tanisha's like, what? Jacy Lynn cannot be walking around saying that. She says, I'm shooketh. I never had a conversation about that with Jacy Lynn or Steph. I hope she's not like, telling other people that, and then my name is going to be attached to them. Because, everybody loses their shit if there's any whiff of a girls' alliance. So Betty says, Jacy Lynn's back is against the wall right now, so she's probably just like saying whatever. But Tanisha wants to see if Jacy Lynn will approach her about this. Not necessarily because she wants to go along with it, but she does want to see if it is brought up. So then Tanisha chats with Summer after about this new Jacy Lynn development, and it doesn't seem like she wants to work with Jacy Lynn or Steph. She and Summer agree they like what they already have going on. They feel pretty good with their Savage 7 alliance. They've got the Man Down alliance. And Tanisha says she wants to stay loyal to what they already have set up. But, like, which one are you more loyal to? I want to know. We don't know yet. I'd love to see some DRs about that. But anyway, in other news, the house guest drew for Power Veto players. And if you didn't see the unaired clip from last week, they actually used that wheel with their names on it in the living room to pick the POV players, which is a lot of fun. Unfortunately, they don't show it on the feeds, but hopefully this week we'll get to see it on the show. So the players for this Power Veto, we've got Jay and Jacy Lynn because they're the two nominees, and then 3 extra players, Josh, Helena, and Betty. And just to remind you, the HOH does not play for the Power Veto in Canada. And the host is Summer. So if you look at that lineup, it's pretty good for Jay. Betty and Helena have both said that they like Jay. They want to keep Jay around. I don't know that they would necessarily use the veto on Jay, but I don't think that they would put them in a position where like they would be in danger. I don't know. Josh has said that he would potentially use the veto on Jay. So it's a good draw for Jay. But anyway, later, this is where it gets a little but also really interesting. Helena and Kevin had a game chat on the couch, and they seem tight, which I was not expecting. Helena says that half the house wants Jacy Lynn out and half wants Jay out at this point. So she's asking Kevin, what do we do? You know, we're kind of in the middle here. What are we going to do? So Kevin's like, I don't know. I'm not sure yet. Kevin is more worried right now that he is being set up to be the backdoor target this week. So Helena's reassuring him, you're just being paranoid. Stop it. Like, no. So Kevin is hoping that Helena will win the Power of Veto and keep the nominations the same. And Helena says, yes, that would be ideal. She wants those noms to stay the same. So then Helena is telling Kevin, you need to get in with the guys. And she says, we're winning this thing. We're getting to the end. It sounds like they have like a final 2 deal. What? So Helena says, I'm cool with Betty, Tanisha, and Summer. I shouldn't have done that. She's basically revealing that they have an alliance. Oh, yikes. She doesn't say like we're in an alliance, but she says I'm cool with them. But she says she's not sure that she's fully gung-ho about that group. She's just covering her bases at this point. Ugh. Rest in peace, Man Down. Oh my god. The reason I'm so nervous about this, well, first of all, there's like always somebody that sells out the girls' alliance to one of the guys. It always happens. I didn't think it was going to be Helena. And to do that, like to sell it out to Kevin. Kevin is the one who before the season was like, I'm going to be the villain. I'm going to take out all your favorites, Canada, blah, blah, blah. No. Okay, so anyway, it seems like those two are very tight. So we'll see if Kevin does anything with that information. I could definitely see him being like, there's a girls' alliance, there's a girls' alliance, if his back was against the wall. But I don't know if he would spill that information this early on as long as he's like in a comfortable position. You know what I mean? So anyway, in other news, Marty is wigging out. He kept saying over and over again that he'll be honoring his deal this week to keep Steph off the block because they made that deal during the HOH competition. But now he's already telling Hermann and Gino that he would potentially put Steph up on the block if the power veto is used. That didn't take long. He is nervous that people would flip the vote and keep Jay over Kevin if Jacy Lynn were to come down, and he wants Jay to go because these guys are shitting a brick that Jay and Jess are going to team up and take out all of these guys that are working together. Granted, they might. They have identified that a lot of these guys are working together. So Marty's very nervous about that. He does not want the vote potentially flipping to keep Jay. So he's like, you know what? If Jacy Lynn comes down, I don't want to risk Kevin. I might just break my deal and put Steph up on the block. So Marty says, let's just see what happens with this power veto competition. So the POV should be happening at some point today. If you guys want to check back later, I will put the winner in the info for the spoiler. But the players, just to remind you again, are Jay, Jacy Lynn, Helena, Betty, and Josh. All right, so that's what I've got for you all today. And I just want to remind you, I mentioned this during Celebrity Big Brother, but hello. Hi, Bowie. I'm actually taking Sundays off from now on.
Oh, what?
I know.
What?
I'm
You're
sorry,
human?
but I cannot continue to work 7 days a week anymore. I've been doing this for like, I don't know, 15 or 16 years. And I need a mental health day. It's not healthy to work 70 or 90 days straight with no days off. So I will be taking Sundays off. I'm still going to keep myself aware of what's happening on the feeds on Sundays, of course, and we'll talk about it on Mondays. But I appreciate the support from everybody. So I will be back.
Chewing in solidarity with you.
Yes, I will be back for the next spoiler on Monday. I hope you all will join me. And again, we will post the POV winner in the info.
Don't worry, you're not going to miss a thing. She's going to cover everything from Sunday on Monday's spoiler.
Well, not everything.
She's going to cover
the important
main
things.
Events.
We will talk about the important things. But I want to thank you all so much for being here today. I want to thank our super chatter, Adley Bruges. Thank you so much for the support. We really, really appreciate it.
Half the time they have the feed shut down on Sunday anyway for like.
I mean, Sunday's a lot of time. It's the day in between the power veto competition and the POV ceremony. So you're going to see some scrambling at times for people trying to get the POV used. But a lot of times they're just like, let's have a chill day and relax.
Or
so
let's shoot a sponsored
yeah,
thing.
Could be something like that too. So
or let's have a big blowout that's not going to be on the feeds, big booze up.
Yeah. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. We will see you on Monday. And until next time, much love. Bye.